And
that's very hard to do. And self-love is very hard to do. We would not treat other people the way we treat ourselves.
It is challenging. You know, one of the questions that we talked about this earlier is that one of the questions that people ask themselves is, what's wrong with me? Which is a self-defeating question. No good answer could come out of that. No, because the question itself is already a put down. You're already sinking into a negative spiral of inner dialogue.
Yeah, that's one thing to do, is asking yourself smart questions.
Right,
that's
exactly.
A way to...
Right. I mean, the function of therapy is to help you make better decisions. Mm-hmm. Really, ultimately, that's what it's supposed to do. And I'm really aspiring to this new way of looking at new therapeutic models, which go into positive therapy. You go into a therapeutic office with the intention of unburdening yourself of all these stories. Rather, this new approach is where you go in and they see what is working in your life and what are your strengths, and let's see if we can capitalize on those, which is a whole different way of thinking. You know.
So what most people ask me when they know I'm your friend now is, okay, first of all, he's still alive. How did he manage to keep the weight off? And is he sane? You know, because we all have these voices in our heads, which I call imposters, but these voices in our head that try to keep holding us back and take you right back to where you were. Most people who drop 100 pounds, they put it back on eventually. So what did you do with your mindset? Can you give me 3 things that you did that are tools that people could use? And I know it's a combination of things.
Yeah, it's you know, as you said, there's a spectrum of practices. One of the things was I was willing. I made a decision. One of the other things I did was really face some of the things I felt bad about. And all of them had to do with relationships, fractures in relationships that I was a part of. One of the things you'll notice when people talk about their sad story and their wounding, they rarely talk about how they wounded other people. And that's where the redemption is. And so I started looking at that with my brother, for example. I was very cruel to my brother when I was younger, and I revisited that with him and had a courageous conversation with him. Fortunately, he was willing to engage in that with me, and I redeemed that relationship. My relationship with my daughter, who was a casualty of divorce, and I was really committed to healing that relationship. And fortunately, after a while, she was willing to participate in that conversation. My ex-wife, and all these relationships were I started doing that work, and it's really confronting when you have to look at your side of the street, and because it's really seductive to just stay in that place of what was done to you and victim language. The problem with staying within victimization is you cannot grow. And so that was one so it was making a decision, revisiting the wrongs that I had done, and then to keep carving new neural pathways, taking what they say in recovery world is contrary action. And Ralph Waldo Emerson said that you have to walk in a certain direction a number of times before you have a path. And so it is with the neural pathways in our brain. I have to keep repeating a practice until I have that different go-to place.
Okay, so many people repeat the practice of, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, or whatever it is. I'm going to be a success this year, New Year's resolutions. This year, I'm going to make sure this and this happens. So they did the same thing you did. What made yours last?
Well, they didn't.
What's the difference?
They didn't do the same thing. Resolutions, like, we're a very event-oriented group of people. Mm-hmm. I'm going to stop smoking on my birthday. I am going to, and what they do is they don't take the next step, and those things are you set yourself up to fail. And yet, in my view, when I talk to people or coach people, I create a situation where I set them up to succeed. And most people want to get their shit together by Friday, and that doesn't happen. And it takes when you make a resolution, you have to have something to back that up. It's just not going to magically happen. And so that means you're going to have to take steps that are going to create a degree of discomfort. Mm-hmm. And like not smoking, right? Not smoking. Stop. If you're smoking, to cease smoking, you have to stop doing something. So it's actually not doing something. It's simple, but it's different. And in that respect, it becomes uncomfortable.